So let's have a look at tags now and tagging. Since the last video, I've just added an extra test here just to make this make a bit more sense. And what tags are is they're kind of like annotations that you can put within your feature files to identify tests and be able to run them in specific groups, or if you want to run specific tests. And it's just a great way of organizing things and running stuff from the pipelines or from your terminal. And I'll show you how this works. So you can add tags using the @ symbol, and you can call them whatever you want to, and you can tag at either a feature level or you can tag at a scenario level. So let me just do it so it'll make sense. If I tag this as login, if you now pass that in as an argument, it would, when you run the test, it would run everything from here if you passed in login. You can tag in multiple files as well. So here we've got, I could tag that as, if I tag that as login as well, that will also run that one too. Let me just show you how that works from a command line point of view. So I do npx cucumber-js, and we pass in the argument tags. We can put in here all of the tags that we want to run. So if I put in there login, and let me just get rid of this one for a sec, and then we'll run that, and that will now run all the tests from the login feature file. There you go, 2 scenarios ran. And if I tagged, if I go back to that again, I could now tag also at this level too. So if I wanted, for example, this test here to be part of a regression, I could tag that as regression. I could tag this one as, I don't know, let's call this one negative. We'll call it's a negative test. We'll do that. But negative test, we'll call that one. So now if I do this again, but I put in there, instead of login, I just put in regression. Run that again. You can see this time it's just run that one test, and if I run login, it'll run all of that. If I run it without tags, obviously it will just run absolutely everything. And another cool thing about these tags, as well as being a way of selecting what it is that you're going to run and how you want to organize your tests, is you can also use it in the before and after. So if I go to the hooks file, you'll notice if I run every single test right now, I've got a selection of tests. I've got the one feature file here, which has got a bunch of front end tests, and then I've got this test here, and this one doesn't require a browser. It's just doing some stuff in code. So this could be the equivalent of you doing something like talking to a backend or something where you don't need to open a browser. So you can use those tags to select when the browser doesn't open. So what we could do is if we come over here, and you can use multiple tags at any level. So if I call this one, we'll say web, it's a web test, and if I put that one there as web, and then what we could do is if I go to the before stage, where are we? So it's in hooks. You can actually pass tags into the before and after functions. Syntax is curly brackets, braces, whatever you want to call them. So if you put in here tags, and you just put in there any tags that you want this before to run for. So if I put in there web, and I do the same for the after as well, that means that should now, oh, forgot a comma. There we go. That means that these before and after now will only run if I'm running a test that's tagged with web. So I now go back to this one here, and I run that. That opens the browser, and it closes it at the end of the test. If I go to the test and try and run that one, that will just run those tests. There you go, it's ran all the tests there, but without opening the browser. If I then put web on there and run it again, you can see it doesn't need it, but every time it runs that test, it opens the browser up, and every time it's finished the test, it closes it as well. So that is a very short overview of how tags work, and they're extremely useful.